is CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Sanjay. Maru, thanks for joining us. New tonight, police are asking for the public's help after a gun was allegedly fired in East Windsor this past weekend. Officers were called to the 1600 block of Droulard Road, that's near the intersection of Walker Road and Seminole Street, around 12:45 Saturday morning. Police say the suspects had fled before they arrived. No serious injuries were reported, and officers believe the incident was targeted, saying there is no threat to public safety. Investigators are still looking for witnesses and surveillance footage. Anyone with information is requested to contact Windsor Police or Crime Stoppers. Turning now to a tragic update. Shane Pruchik, the 41-year-old man pulled from a fiery collision on Tecumseh Road East last weekend, has died. The crash on September 6th left 6 people injured after a pickup truck driver allegedly struck a sedan near McDougal Street before veering into eastbound traffic and colliding head-on with an SUV. The occupants of the SUV were identified as Shane Pruchik and his wife Stephanie McDowell, as well as their 3 kids. 34-year-old Austin James Richard was charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing bodily harm and leaving the scene of a collision. Police say a motorcyclist was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries after getting hit from behind by a vehicle. The crash happened around 9 p.m. Sunday in the 2100 block of Front Road in Amherstburg. Officers say the 70-year-old motorcyclist was taken to hospital and the investigation remains ongoing. Anyone who witnessed the collision is again asked to contact police. A Michigan man is on trial for a murder in Windsor into the 2023 death of his estranged wife. 36-year-old Sahara Boulay was reported missing by her family in late May 2023. Court learned Monday she was killed sometime between May 26th and May 29th. Her body was discovered on June 8th in a field in South Windsor. Police charged her husband, Brian Marbury, with murder and causing an indignity to a human body. Today in Superior Court, Marbury, now 47 years old, pleaded guilty to the latter offense, but pleaded not guilty to murder. He has elected to be tried by a judge and jury. The trial is expected to start Tuesday morning. An inquest is underway into yet another overdose death inside the Southwest Detention Center. This one dates back to 2021, and unlike a previous inquest held this summer, the drug dealer who sold the fatal dose to an inmate has already been identified, charged, and convicted. The jury is now tasked with coming up with recommendations to better protect inmates from future harm. CTV's Michelle Molesky explains.
Nathaniel Krug died on March 10, 2021 from a drug overdose, just 9 days after he was arrested. Krug was facing attempted murder and firearm charges for a non-fatal drive-by shooting. The jury learned Monday Krug visited a different cell to purchase drugs from another inmate. He hid the drugs inside his body. Krug shared some of the drugs with his cellmate, and they both suffered an overdose. Krug's cellmate was responsive in the jail and survived. In spite of numerous doses of naloxone, Krug was rushed to Windsor Regional Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Krug's aunt, Dr. Amy Fitzgerald, will represent the family during the inquest. A criminologist, Fitzgerald says there are many questions the family needs answered, and they worry how Krug died will forever be overshadowed by how important he was to their family. He made some bad decisions, she said, but told the jury Krug was trying to get clean and was looking forward to becoming a father. He was a wonderful nephew, Fitzgerald concluded. The autopsy determined Krug died from fentanyl and atozolam toxicity. 5 months after Krug's death, Windsor police charged inmate Luc Bouchard with drug trafficking, criminal negligence, and manslaughter. He pleaded guilty to drug trafficking in August 2022 and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. The criminal negligence and manslaughter charges were then withdrawn by the Crown. Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Turning now to local politics, the race is set for candidates in Windsor's Ward 2 by-election. The city has released the full slate of residents seeking a seat in council chambers. Tonight, CTV's Robert Lothian walked the streets of Ward 2, asking the community what they want to see from candidates.
Marked by history and diversity, Windsor's Ward 2 is unique. Anchored by Sandwich Town, many residents here aren't necessarily seeking change.
Growing up, that's how it was. Everybody looked out for everybody, and it's still the same.
Keeping a sense of community is a key ask for residents here in Ward 2 ahead of an upcoming by-election.
The safetiness, you know, because we're pretty safe here in Sandwich Town.
You don't need to do much more than just keep at what it's already been doing.
Affordable living, food, house, just living in general.
Please consult the people in the neighborhood, because without consultation, you're literally going to lose the community that we have.
Over the last, let's say, 5-10 years, we've been very much on an upward trajectory.
In recent years, a hit to traffic downtown has communities like Ward 2 gaining traction. Sandwich Town BIA head Stephen Hargreaves says keeping momentum is a top priority.
As we are on the doorstep of the opening of the new bridge, as we are at the tail end of the streetscaping, it's probably the most important time of our area when it comes to our political representation.
The race was spurred by Fabio Costante's resignation in June to head the region's housing corporation. While his successor will only stay in the role for 1 year, political experts say it provides a leg up ahead of the 2026 municipal elections.
To say, you know what, I understand how this office works. I understand municipal government better than I did when I ran in the by-election. And so that does give them advantage over the people that ran against them or who wish to run against them in the next election.
Candidates now have until October 27th to sell residents on how they plan to meet the needs of Ward 2. Robert Lothian, CTV News.
After a recent outburst inside Essex Council chambers, town councillors are moving to crack down on harassment.
We all seen what happened here in our council chambers a couple weeks ago with a gentleman pointing out to take over certain positions. And I feel that, that was uncalled for and very rude, but I don't think it was actionable. But there is other times out in the community where a representative of the town is accosted.
The motion directs administration to draft a policy outlining consequences for disruptive behavior. It comes weeks after former Mayor Larry Snively pointed at councillors during a heated debate over a proposed wedding venue and told them they were, quote, done next election. Under the policy, consequences could include restrictions on communications or even banning individuals from municipal facilities. To provincial politics now. Bonnie Crombie is stepping down as Ontario Liberal leader after less than 2 years on the job. At this weekend's party meeting, only 57% of delegates wanted her to stay. In the lead up to the vote, Crombie's critics had called on her to resign if she fell short of 2/3 support. Crombie says the decision came after talks with her family, party executives, and caucus. Liberal MPPs insist this is not a caucus revolt, but say a new leader is what's best. This will mark the third leadership contest for the Liberals since their defeat in 2018. In Windsor, Assumption Church has stood for nearly 3 centuries, its roots dating back to 1728. But despite that long history, the federal board responsible for designating National Historic Sites has denied the church that status. CTV's Travis Fortnum reports on the disappointment parishioners are feeling about the decision.
For as long as the Ambassador Bridge has spanned Canada and the U.S., Assumption Church has stood in its shadow. But the church was here first.
It was built in 1845. It was established as a parish in 1767, exactly 100 years before Confederation. And it was the first Catholic parish in this part of the country.
Paul Mullins has been leading restoration efforts at Assumption in recent years, and volunteers thought those efforts would be helped by the grants that come with attaining National Historic Site designation. With all that history under the steeple, they figured it was a natural fit. But the Historic Sites and Monuments Board of Canada saw it differently.
It's incredibly disappointing to me and a huge surprise to anyone who's familiar with this property and with this church.
They applied back in 2022, and just last week we're told that application has been denied. The board writing in part, board members concluded that the overall architecture of the church was not considered an outstanding example of a church of that place and time.
They're comparing it to some other churches that were built in Montreal at that time, not taking into consideration that this was built in the virtual wilderness. And still quite amazing to me and disappointing.
CTV News reached out to the board and Parks Canada, but did not hear back by deadline. Hundreds still fill the pews at Assumption each week for Sunday Mass, and this weekend Mullins shared the news of the rejection with them face-to-face.
The comments I received afterwards were just amazement, surprise, disappointment, and encouragement not to accept that as the final answer.
And they're not yet. Mullins says they're reaching out to Stephen Guilbeault, the minister responsible for Parks Canada, to invite him to tour the church in person. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
A years-long closure of the more than a century-old St. Joachim Church ended on Sunday. Residents walking the floors of the long-shuttered building to see the ongoing restoration work.
Today was to bring the people of the community in to see what we're going to offer them and have them decide whether this is going to continue or not. Our focus this summer was to seal up the outside for the winter, because there was quite a bit of damage done to the outside. It means a lot to me to see the building still standing. You see the generation that's coming in today, older generation, and they can't believe what we're doing for them. Well, after today, we'll see what our donations are looking like. If the community doesn't want to donate and support us, so be it. We'll just lock her up and keep the heat on and keep the building standing.
While another major road project is underway in Windsor, this one at Banwell Road and the EC Row Expressway, the $100 million overpass is expected to bring long-term relief for drivers. But as CTV's Bob Belichico shows us, for right now, it means new delays and lane closures.
It's long overdue. Signs are up and cars have slowed down to a crawl on the expressway near Banwell. Windsor is building a new overpass to help with traffic flow. Ward Councillor Angela Marignani is receiving a little blowback, though.
We are, but we're also getting a lot of residents who are saying it's about time. This is going to improve their quality of life, their travel time.
So work began earlier this morning here in the Banwell corridor and comes 11 months after the completion and opening of the Banwell roundabout just down the street. Now, this project is supposed to last into 2027. While the $100 million project is expected to cause some delays, the impact on drivers will be less severe than it could have been. The new road is being built alongside the existing one.
We can have traffic flow while the construction's going on and not having the big holdups.
However, the expressway will close westbound for 3 days and then eastbound for another 3 days to allow for underground infrastructure work.
At the next council meeting, we'll be applying for noise exemption so that we can do this 24/7 to reduce that inconvenience to our residents.
Elsewhere, the Manning Road roundabout is moving along.
This first step was to get that roundabout in, and it looks like 2 to 3 weeks to get that finished from now, and then tidy it up.
We're definitely looking forward to having this roundabout completed so that our clients and our team can make it to and from the office without too much disruption. But they're doing a great job.
The next phase will focus on the widening of County Road 42 from the west side of Manning.
Any widenings to the north or south or the east will come in future years and future construction projects. But we're going to focus on getting a link between the two roundabouts.
And finally, Howard near the mall continues to plug along. Howard to South Cameron has been corrected. New traffic lights installed at Howard and Sydney. Completion date?
Mid to late October. What the project managers keep saying to me is that our goal is to have the project completed in time for the holiday shopping season.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Still ahead, federal investigators say they've uncovered a crucial piece of DNA evidence in the shooting death of Conservative voice Charlie Kirk. And CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now for a look at the weather. And Gary, today's weather was absolutely gorgeous. Can we expect more of this throughout the week?
Yes, I think so. Ridge of high pressure is going to keep things relatively calm, benign patterns in place. It will continue through the midweek, and temperatures along with it have been above seasonal. That, too, will be the course. Gorgeous conditions Even through the overnights, they've been calm and clear and pleasant, to say the very least. Reach a high about 27 degrees across extreme southwestern Ontario. Our average high is closer to 23, so you get the idea. The overnight lows and, of course, the highs during the day are going to get closer and closer to the freezing mark eventually as we head towards winter. But we still have about, 8 days? Yeah, 8 days left of the summer season before fall begins. And along the way, although averages for daytime highs and lows will be decreasing, we happen to be in a warm temperature trend. Notice how the cloud cover of late, even stretching back to the middle of last week, has been of the fair weather variety. I'm not anticipating any rain, any significant storm activity, at least for the next 72 hours, maybe 96 hours. We could go 4 days straight. The overnight low is 13. That's seasonal for this time of the year. The wind will be calm through to tomorrow morning, and then we'll be in the sunshine yet again. Again, I emphasize that the ridge is strong, and because of that, it's inhibiting cloud development, storms, troughs, areas of low pressure from forming. That's why it's been so sunny and clear for the most part. Sunshine through the midday, afternoon, and note, in the afternoon, we'll reach a high of 27. That feels like about 33. Very summer-like indeed. Not seemingly winding down just yet. I mentioned the next 72 to 96 hours. That will take us to day 4, and that's Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sunny. Temperatures between 27 and 28. The lows about 13 degrees Celsius. The UV's high, so just remember to use that sunblock. Friday, down to 26, still above seasonal by 3 degrees. A 30% chance of showers on a mostly cloudy day. And speaking of cloudiness, will be cloudy for the weekend, cooling off a bit. 22, followed by 25, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, a week from now, 23. And that would be seasonal for this time of the year. Enjoy the warmth as we close out this interesting season now. No doubt about it. Sanjay.
Thank you, Gary. Well, starting today, Canada Post workers are no longer delivering commercial flyers. The move comes after the Canadian Union of Postal Workers said it would end a ban on overtime work. The union says Canada Post is refusing to talk until the union significantly changes its latest offer. In early August, union members voted down what Canada Post said was its final offer, and the union responded with its own proposal. The Postal Service said that offer was a step backward. Well, boating is a summer tradition for many families, but a popular new watercraft is now the subject of a safety recall. The Sea-Doo Switch is marketed as a fun and family-friendly way to get out on the water, but as CTV's Pat Forn reports, some owners say their experience have been anything but relaxing.
They are one of the latest designs for fun on the water, the Sea-Doo Switch. It has the power of a Sea-Doo and the seating arrangement of a pontoon boat. Marcus Hurl of St. Isidore says he wanted something fun to use with his children and grandchildren.
We wanted to have something that's family-oriented. They presented us with the Sea-Doo Switch.
Hurl says he was out on the St. Lawrence River this summer. There were 3 adults and 3 children under the age of 3. When another boat passed by, he says his Sea-Doo Switch started taking on water.
It was like a scoop that was scooping up water into the boat.
He feared for his grandchildren's safety and was worried the boat might capsize.
The rear end of the boat was now coming up out of the water. 2 of our grandchildren got basically were swimming in the water from there at that point because the front end was submerged.
Hurl says he was able to get the boat to shore, but he says research showed there had been other cases of Sea-Doo switches flipping over. Bombardier Recreational Products issued a safety recall earlier this year and said overloading the front of the boat could result in serious injury or death. It also released a safety video.
Do not allow passengers to sit or gather at the front of the boat that would overload the bow. It may result in the boat nosediving, leading to capsizing.
Hurl believes the safety recall and warnings don't go far enough.
They have not solved the issue with that boat.
When CTV News reached out to Bombardier, a spokesperson said, "Our riders' safety is our top priority, and we are committed to providing products that are safe and in compliance with all applicable laws and regulations." In Canada, the Sea-Doo Switch watercrafts comply with small vessel regulations and construction standards regarding flotation tests and weight capacity. Pearl says the boat cost over $60,000, and he wants to return it, saying he doesn't feel safe using it with his family.
Nobody will ever go on that boat again.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Energy stocks helped Canada's main stock index close higher today. In Toronto, the TSX gains 147 points, while in New York, the Dow adds 49, the Nasdaq up 208. The Canadian dollar gaining a quarter cent today, and on commodity markets, gold is up more than $32 an ounce, while oil adds 61 cents a barrel.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
Today, we learned more about the cost of the April 28th election that gave Mark Carney his near majority, and also more insight into voter behavior. CTV's Judy Trin now with the findings and what else they reveal.
We had prepared to deliver an accessible and secure election, and we did.
The snap federal election cost about $570 million, and it resulted in a record number of Canadians who cast their ballots before the April 28th election date. For early voters, lineups were longer than expected.
So the campaigns are inciting voters to go in and vote so that they can focus on perhaps the undecided electors.
Of the 19.8 million people who voted, 8.7 million voted in advance polls. That's 44% who voted before Election Day. In its report, tabled in Parliament, Elections Canada says the trend of early voting will continue and that it will increase pressure on the organization to find enough workers and space to hold advance polls.
We will need to think about the capacity to continue to expand the service offering, particularly ahead of polling day, and especially given the growing difficulties we face.
Solutions being recommended include extending the minimum length of an election period from 36 days to a few days longer, and using an electronic registry to speed up the verification of voters so lines move faster. Elections Canada is also doing a review of its mail-in voting process after problems arose in the riding of Terrebonne, Quebec. The wrong postal code of the local elections office was printed on some labels. And after 2 recounts, a Liberal candidate won by just 1 vote. A legal challenge has been mounted by the Bloc Québécois and will be heard in the Quebec Superior Court in October. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
A 12-year-old boy is facing charges including second-degree murder after a series of unprovoked attacks that left a 62-year-old man dead.
All of these attacks were extremely violent, and they targeted vulnerable members of our city.
The boy and a 20-year-old man are accused of carrying out a series of violent incidents on the same morning last month. Investigators say the 62-year-old man who was killed was unhoused and asleep on a bench when he was attacked. In the U.S., the FBI say they have linked the man accused of shooting conservative influencer Charlie Kirk with DNA evidence found at the scene. FBI Director Kash Patel says DNA matching suspect Tyler Robinson was discovered on a towel that was allegedly wrapped around a firearm discarded near the university. A formal murder charge is expected later this week. The announcement of new evidence comes as Vice President J.D. Vance stepped in to host the late Charlie Kirk's talk show.
Filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for, but I'm going to try to do my best. He was a critical part of getting Donald Trump elected as president, getting me elected as vice president. And so much of our success over the last 7 months is due to his efforts, his staffing, his support, and his friendship. I don't think that I'm
Sitting in his ceremonial office, Vance spoke glowingly of his late friend and blamed left-wing extremism for playing a role in Kirk's killing. Your Tim Hortons coffee is about to come with additional perks. Canadian Tire is teaming up with the coffee chain to link loyalty programs. The partnership means that sometime next year, customers can earn Canadian Tire money on eligible purchases at Tim Hortons. The companies say there will also be exclusive offers for those who link their Tim Hortons and Triangle accounts, but those specific details are not available yet. And Gary joins me again for a look at the weather over the next 7 days. Gary.
Sanjay, the term sunny and warm can be used for at least the next 72 hours. I guarantee beautiful conditions, certainly Tuesday into Wednesday and Thursday. This ridge is going to hang around, keep us clear and quiet for the most part in terms of active weather. We don't hear anything about showers, at least until Friday. Maybe late Thursday night, overnight into Friday morning. Temperatures 27 to 28 degrees over the next 3 days. UV index is high and it will feel warmer than 30 degrees. Humidex is a factor. Friday into the weekend, and then Monday will be clouding over and temperatures falling off and then rebounding and then falling off again. We're going to cool off eventually, but enjoy the next 3 days of above seasonal warmth and loads of sunshine across the region. Good night.
You as well, Gary. Thank you. Mini motorcycle racing may not be well known in Canada, but a teen rider is determined to change that. 14-year-old Stefan Tanisic only started riding this spring, and he's already competing on the international stage. But because motorcycle racing is not recognized as an official sport in Canada, it does not qualify for the same provincial or federal funding that other sports receive. So Tanisic is doing his part to grow the game, encouraging others to join him on the track. Tanisic says he learned everything through a mini motorcycle racing school, and he's now trying to get more kids to join. Finally tonight, contestants descended on a small English town for a day of laughter, local lore, and absurdity in one country's most eccentric sporting competitions. The World Black Pudding Throwing Championships see competitors lob black puddings wrapped in women's nylon stockings as 12 giant Yorkshire puddings stacked on a pedestal. The goal is to knock off as many as they can. The event's origins supposedly stem back to the War of the Roses in 1500s, when a battle between the Yorkists and the Lancastrians ran out of ammunition. Well, that's your news for tonight. Thanks for watching this edition of Windsor's News Leader. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.